Hey everyone, and Jeremy's with me this time because we have kind of a warning we want to put out to people, especially people who are chronically ill, of something that can happen and actually did happen to us last week, starting on July 17th. On July 17th, I received a bill from a hospital that I have gone to for testing. I got a bill saying I hadn't paid $34.53 that was remaining on the bill. Well, actually, the following, 2 or 3 days before I got this bill, I had actually paid the bill off. Well, in the past, when we receive bills like this, sometimes it means that their computer system has completely messed up in the billing department and our payment hasn't gone through, which they have told us in the past. It isn't their business to contact us when our payment doesn't go through, and then they turn us over to a collection agency. We've had this done. So we are constantly in a fight with this one hospital. This one hospital in particular is the one that we are always, forever, in a fight with every month to 2 months for the past almost 7 years. So, knowing the background, I hurry up and call the billing department, and I tell a certain person on the phone that I received this bill, but I've already paid the bill. I just want to make sure my payment has gone through and the bill is paid off. The man tells me, yes, we received your payment. We are processing it. I said, okay. Now, here's my other problem. I have another existing bill that I constantly am getting double billed for. I pay the bill, I get another bill, and then I get another bill later on. He says, well, we send out our bills a certain time every month, so that's probably why you got the double bill this time. I said, which didn't make any sense to me, because if they sent out all their bills at one time, then I should have got a bill not only for the $34.53 bill, but also my $50 payment for the other bill. That didn't happen. So I don't believe what he was saying. Well, I said, is there any way I could talk to a supervisor where we could get this fixed so I'm not constantly being double billed, that I don't have to keep calling in making sure my payments have gone through? Because I told him again, when I get these double bills, sometimes it means it doesn't always mean my payment's gone through, and you're going to turn me to collections if I don't take it upon myself to basically do your job, when they should be, in my opinion, required to call and tell us when their system has messed up. Well, this man will not let me talk to a supervisor to try to get the possible future problems fixed. He tells me he's done everything, fixed everything is okay. My payment is processing, nothing has to be done. But the only way we could fix this is for me to give him all my bank information, my routing number, my account number to my bank, and allow him to take out my $50 a month payment for my other bill automatically every month. When he said that, I went, there's no way you're ever getting your little grubby hands on my bank account information. I told him that's exactly what I said. Because I said, if your billing department can't send out a bill properly for the past 7 years, I said, how can you think that I'm going to give you my bank information where you could just take out possibly whatever you want to and possibly bleed me dry? And there I am with no money in my bank account because you guys have messed up. Well, he says, well, ma'am, that's all I can offer. And I basically, at that point, ended the phone call because I wasn't going to just sit there on the phone and he wasn't going to let me talk to a supervisor. Fine. Well, you would think that would be over with. He told me my accounts are in standing order. The payment I made on this bill that I just got is being processed. It's there. Everything's okay. 2 hours later, Jeremy comes home and checks our bank account. And when he looks at our bank account, he says, what's going on here? It turns out that the billing department ended up taking double the payment out of our bank account instead of just one. So instead of just $34.53 being taken out, we had nearly $70 taken out of our bank account. And with a person who is on a fixed income and chronically ill for the rest of their life, you know that is a scary thought that people are, have done that, because that's money you need to buy medicine, buy food, etc. So we couldn't make any phone calls. The billing department was already closed. So we had to wait the next day, the 18th.
All right.
And this is where Jeremy takes over because I was too flustered.
Well, I want to rewind first. I made an automatic payment on Friday, the week before.
Yeah.
Got a confirmation code. Everything should have been fine. So she made the call while I was out of town. I wasn't home. And so then the next thing we know, I'm looking Tuesday night and I've seen the double bill.
Wednesday.
It was Tuesday night I noticed it. And then
no, it was Wednesday when I made the phone call.
Wednesday you made the phone call, yeah.
Thursday,
yeah.
Thursday was when the 18th.
The 18th, yeah. I'm looking at the dates wrong. But anyway, I ended up making a call to find out what happened. And they said, I see that, we put in another payment for you. I said, well, was the payment done automatically on Friday removed? And he's like, no, it was just forced through again. I said, well, then why did it go through double? So he said he was going to contact the refund department. And I said, that's great. Contact the refund department. But my question is, who gave authorization for that payment? Because I'm responsible for the finances of this home. It was my debit card that went through. Miranda does not make these kinds of payments. She might write out a check with my my help or whatever, but that was my debit card. That was my information that went through. So I said, okay, I want to speak to a supervisor, please. And he said, well, we're going to try and get you one. And the one that they wanted to get me was on vacation.
But they failed to tell you that.
And they didn't tell us that originally. So then we get another call later.
No, we never.
Because we had to call back.
We called back because no one called us when they said, the supervisor will be calling you in the next couple hours.
And that's what they said, and they never did, so we called back. Which goes back to Miranda.
So Jeremy, no, this is still the 18th. So Jeremy calls back, and we're telling, this new person on the phone who doesn't know anything, that we have been told by the second personnel that we talked to earlier, that the person, Mr. So-and-so, that I talked to yesterday on Wednesday the 17th, without our permission, took money out of our bank account and forced through this other payment without our authorization. So basically, this man the man in the real world scenario, outside of a billing department, the man took our debit card, went to a store, and bought stuff without our authorization. That's what he did. So we are very, very upset. So by the time it's almost 4 o'clock and there's no manager calling us, the billing department closes at 4 o'clock. We call back. Jeremy calls back. He gets no answer. They said, well, Melissa, whoever, the supervisor left early today. Well, actually, that was a lie. She was on vacation the whole time and would not even be back for the rest of the week. We found that out the following day. So there we are. Still, they say we're going to get a refund, and they say that Melissa will call us back on the 19th, which is Friday. So we hang up. We're very upset. We're mad. We have found out now. We know who he is. This man who I talked to on Wednesday, told I would not allow him to have his hands on my money in my bank account, illegally used our debit card information and pushed through another payment that wasn't even needed because I already paid off the bill. So here comes Friday, the 19th. A week to the day since we had actually paid the bill off. And we wait and we wait and we wait. And it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's no phone call from the billing department. No phone call from a Melissa. No nothing. So I call the hospital, the actual hospital, and I say, I want to talk to patient advocate. And patient advocate are the people that are there for you, the patient. When you are being abused, when something illegal is being done against the law or hospital policy, you talk to them. They are basically your lawyer in the hospital, in my opinion. They're there to protect you and to make sure you are treated right. So I call the patient advocate and I talk to a woman. And I tell her the situation. That I talked to a man on Wednesday in the billing department, and he illegally, without my authorization, used my debit card to push through another payment that didn't need to be because the bill was already paid off. She's fuming mad too. She says, this is ridiculous. And I said, we've never even received a phone call back. This is our third day dealing with this. And I said, and we still haven't received our refund, by the way. So she tells me, well, I am going to call the billing department right now, and I promise you, and that's the way she said, I promise you, you will get a phone call today from a supervisor. So, fast forward, it's 5 o'clock. The billing department's closed. I'm upset. No one's called. We look at each other and say, what are we supposed to do? It's Friday. It's Friday. They're going to be gone all weekend. And we don't have our money. And so we're sitting here in the house, and at 6 o'clock, around 6 o'clock, the phone rings. I answer the phone. It is a supervisor, finally, from the billing department. This man tells us, he didn't know anything that was going on. Basically, even the notes in the computer system about the whole thing was a lie too. Didn't tell him anything. So we tell him everything that we just told you had happened since the 17th. Well, actually, since a week before. A week to the day. We paid the bill the following Friday, and this is what has happened since Wednesday. He tells us, I flat out told him, I said, sir, I'm going to tell you right now, I said, I never authorized this. I said, on top of it was my husband's debit card. So I couldn't even authorize him to do this. I'm not Jeremy. I said, on top of it, I said, the phone call is recorded. And I said, you want to know the truth? I said, listen to the phone call that so-and-so had with me on Wednesday, July 17th, between the hour of 1 and 2. I said, and you will hear the truth. And I told the man everything that had happened, how much stress I'm under. I have an incurable disease that I'm fighting the rest of my life, and as long as I live in this area, if an emergency happens, I have to go to this hospital because I don't have a choice. And then I have to deal with this billing department and be treated this way for the rest of my life. That's unacceptable for anybody. And I told him, I said, I'm not just speaking for myself. I am speaking for everyone else who is being treated this way too. So, we also informed him, because of all this going on, Jeremy actually missed taking an exam that day on Friday. He was late. He actually had to write his professor and say, due to someone, without our authorization, taking money out of our bank account.
It was Thursday, not Friday.
This was Friday.
Yeah, I wrote her Friday because the problem I had two problems that week with school.
Well, Jeremy, that's besides the point. The point is, Friday, you couldn't get your exam done because we were on the phone the whole time with the supervisor. The test was due at 5 o'clock. We were basically on the phone with him that whole time, trying to figure out what was going on. So this hindered Jeremy from doing his college work, and it put so much stress on me. I was extremely sick. I'm already sick, but this boosted it up even higher.
It was like two things that happened. Thursday I had an assignment due by 5. Well, we were on the phone till 5. I couldn't finish it to submit it because I couldn't sit here and play around with Blackboard, finish editing a paper. And luckily, I did get the assignment in late. It was a couple hours late on Thursday for the first one.
Well, anyway, this is beside the point. So the supervisor took in account that this basically disrupted our entire life. Mm-hmm. Basically, for 3 days, we have sat by the telephone waiting for somebody to do their job. And nothing has been done. Even on Friday, nothing was done. We never even got, even on Friday, still never got our refund and our money back in our bank account. Manager says, I can't do anything today. It'll be next Wednesday before I can even talk to you. But he said, I promise I am going to get to the bottom of this and I will call you back. So, let's fast forward. That's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Well, wait a minute. Monday between the hours of 6 and midnight, the refund finally came through. So then Tuesday comes. Then Wednesday comes. We're sitting by the phone because we can't leave. We don't know when he's calling. So we have to sit in our house and wait on the phone to ring. So, was it late afternoon, around 3 o'clock? The phone rings. It's the supervisor that we talked to on Friday. He informs us that everything I said was true. That action has been taken against the man who did this to us. And that he promises that from now on, this will never happen again, as long as he is a supervisor there. That he even took into effect, he even told everybody, everything we've gone through in the past 6-7 years with the billing department. The stress it has put me under, that I have an incurable disease, that I am forced to go to this hospital if I have an emergency. I don't have a choice. It's the closest hospital. If I have a medical emergency, they're going to take me there. I don't have a choice. And then I have to deal with their billing department. And the manager also said that if anything like this ever happens again, if we continually have problems with our bills, to call him directly, ask for him directly, and he will take care of it. And so that's what we went through for 5 business days. This is just business days. This isn't even, counting the days that they were. So basically it was like, over a week. We were dealing with this.
Now at this point, I want to give some tips, because normally I'm the one that deals with all these phone calls.
Yeah.
And most people do not know how to deal with collection agencies, billing departments, any kind of phone call that involves you have to pay money and their set payments. I'm going to give you some tips. Number 1, you request their first and last name. At this same time, if you're going to make these phone calls or you receive one, you need to immediately get a pen and you need to immediately get a piece of paper. Mm-hmm. You need to write down the exact time the phone call was received. You need to ask for, what is your name, sir, ma'am? You write down their name, and you start taking notes on everything they say. Everything they say, okay? Everything that is said in those phone calls. I did this as an operations specialist in the U.S. Coast Guard. In fact, everything that I wrote is a government log document that can be used in a court of law. So I actually have military-esque certification to be able to know how to do this. So I'll sit down with my paper and pen, and I write practically the whole phone call down. Now I know the average person can't write a whole 10 to 20 minute phone call down. I understand that. Well, the way I see it is, if these companies are recording our conversation, then we have the right to record the conversation, because you need to know confirmation code numbers. When you pay these bills, get those confirmation call numbers. You need to get who you talk to, the time you talk to, the problems.
And make sure you save your bills.
And save your bills. Keep the receipts of your bills. Mm-hmm. Because we wouldn't have gotten this far to a supervisor if we didn't have this information. We were able to give every person we talked to, all the times the calls were done, what we said, what they said, and they were able to go back to their digital voice logger, or whatever it's called for whatever company it is. That's what it was called in the Coast Guard, a DVL, digital voice logger, and listen to the conversations. You have to. The problem is with collecting the bills, if you show any signs of any emotion, you start crying, you start screaming, you start yelling, or if you even have my monotone-like voice and start cussing and saying the wrong word, they are going to tune you out and end the phone calls. That's just what they do. So this is why Miranda lets me deal with it for the most part, because it does upset her when something goes wrong.
I am laying in bed sick.
Because she's normally in bed, she's normally sick. Sometimes she takes these phone calls in the bathroom. I mean, just to be that graphic.
Because they won't talk to anybody else, even though I give them authorization.
So this is the next step. The next step that you have to do in these kinds of situations is you have to get power of attorney for your family members or friends. Someone that can be the financial, physical advocate of your bills or whatever it is. So then they can't give you that answer of, well, I can't talk to anyone else. That's what you have to do. Those are the tips we have. I think we've been...
And when it comes down, and when all else fails, when a supervisor won't do anything, a manager, they won't do anything, remember, patient advocate. Call the hospital. Ask for patient advocate. They are there to protect you. They are there to protect your rights as a patient. When all else fails, remember this, patient advocate. This is a terrible thing that we are continually enduring, and hopefully, with chronic illness, anybody with chronic illness understands you will always have medical debt. You will never be out of medical debt. It is always going to continue to accumulate, and you just have to pay what you can when you can and just keep going. But we have rights. We should not be being harassed and bullied because we are paying our bills and they are being incompetent and not doing their jobs. We hope we helped you. And this has been JMC Vlog. Not been a very happy one, but hopefully we have helped you if you're dealing with things like this, and let you know you're not alone. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.